Hi, I'm Cleo. I'm a longtime tutor and a test prep expert here with Study.com. So today we're going to be talking about the Praxis 5039 exam, which is for English language arts, content, and analysis. And this test has a few different subtopics contained within it. So today we're focusing on the subtopic of reading. We have some sample problems for you that we are going to work through together. So let's jump in now. Here we go. Problem 1. Instructing reading to small groups of students is often the most effective way to meet them at their level for each discrete skill. Small group instruction requires much pre-planning, but gets more bang for the buck than traditional whole group instruction. Small group instruction enables continuous evaluation of each student's progress in real time and allows for course correction. Small groups also offer fewer places to hide from participation. Students who don't speak in a whole group setting take risks and come out of their shells with a smaller audience. The interaction between the students in a small group can also spotlight misconceptions and learning gaps. One of the drawbacks of small group instruction is that the other students must be able to independently keep learning while the teacher is not serving as their guide. The teachers can explicitly instruct students on routines for working and for asking for help. Okay, so first, before I even look at the question, I'm just going to ask myself, what is this about? Do I have a sense of the content? And I would say, yes, this is about the benefits of small group instruction. So now let's see what they're actually asking. Which of the following idioms does the author use to describe when shy students participate more in small groups? So first of all, what is an idiom? An idiom is a certain phrase in any language, but obviously we're speaking about English here. So a certain phrase in the English language that is known to have a different figurative meaning than what the words literally mean. And it's said in a specific way. It's just the way that we say it in English. So sometimes with idioms, if you're learning English later on, they can be a bit confusing because they might raise questions of why is it said exactly that way, or what does it really mean in this context? But once you come to understand the figurative meaning, idioms can be quite useful. When we're talking about when shy students participate more in small groups, which idiom do we use? Bang for the buck, continuous evaluation, come out of their shells, or spotlight misconceptions. Well, continuous evaluation and spotlight misconceptions are not idioms. Those are not phrases in the English language that have a certain known figurative meaning. Bang for the buck means the amount of value that you get out of something. So if something has high bang for the buck, it's you get a lot out of it for investing perhaps less. Something that's a good deal is a good bang for the buck. Come out of their shells means to become more social and more confident. So which phrase do we use when describing when shy students participate more in small groups? So we're talking about that here. Small groups offer fewer places to hide from participation. Students who don't speak in a whole group setting take risks and come out of their shells with a smaller audience. The interaction between the students in a small group can also spotlight misconceptions and learning gaps. All right, so our best answer here is this one, come out of their shells. Like a turtle might come out of its shell, stick its head out to socialize with the group, that is the same sort of meaning here. It means that the students would not be as shy and participate more in the small group setting. All right, problem 2. Based on the following excerpt from Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin by Benjamin Franklin. The following excerpt is contained in the chapter Beginning Life as a Printer. There was another bookish lad in the town, John Collins by name, with whom I was intimately acquainted. We sometimes disputed, and very fond we were of argument, and very desirous of confuting one another, which disputatious turn, by the way, is apt to become a very bad habit, making people often extremely disagreeable in company by the contradiction that is necessary to bring it into practice, and thence, being souring and spoiling the conversation, is productive of disgusts and perhaps enmities, where you may have occasion for friendship. I had caught it by reading my father's books of dispute about religion. Persons of good sense, I have since observed, seldom fall into it, except lawyers, university men, and men of all sorts that have been bred at Edinburgh. Okay, the question asks us, which of the following character traits about Benjamin Franklin can best be inferred from the passage? So before we look at the answers, I find it helpful to just always ask myself, what is this passage about? And then make a prediction about the answer. before I get misled from the answers. So, what is this passage about? Well, it's about Benjamin Franklin and another person in town and how they really like to get into intellectual debates. They were arguing with each other all the time about all sorts of intellectual concepts, it seems, and they were having lots of disagreements. And then he sort of makes a joke and says that it's not a socially acceptable quality to be always arguing with people all the time. So, which of the following character traits about Benjamin Franklin can best be inferred from the passage? I might predict argumentative, intellectual, something like that. So looking at the answers, we have intellectually curious, determined, self-confident, hardworking. Well, he is determined to make his point, but it's not really talking about his determination in general. Self-confident, again, that's not really the point. Hardworking is definitely not what we're saying at all. Intellectually curious seems by far the best answer. So let's see. Let's highlight things that are relevant. We have which character trait about him can be inferred. So we were very, very fond we were of argument. And I got into this by reading my father's books about dispute about religion as a child. So the best answer here, self-confident and determined, are not nearly as strong as intellectually curious. That is what we're emphasizing in this passage. All right, now question 3. Which of the following characteristics is typical of the mystery genre? I love a good mystery. Let's see. A plot focused on the unraveling of secrets, a narrative driven by the protagonist's emotional growth, a story set in a strange and perplexing world, a story steeped in symbolism and metaphor. While mysteries have a bunch of different elements that tend to come up, the most important and most obvious element of the genre, I would say, is this first answer, a plot focused on the unraveling of secrets, right? If we think about some of the best, most famous mystery writers of all time, Agatha Christie, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who made the Sherlock Holmes series, it's all about these secrets that come out over the course of the novel, and you piece together what really happened. And question 4. Dramatic irony contributes to the conflict in a story by what? Allowing the reader to know more about the plot than the characters, highlighting the motivations of the characters, adding unsuspected plot twists, or dramatizing settings and moods. Well, first we should check in with ourselves. What is dramatic irony? Dramatic irony is one of the multiple types of irony that authors employ to create tension. But dramatic irony specifically is this first answer, when the reader often knows more about what's going on than the characters. So if we continue thinking about a mystery, for example, the reader might have seen something that the narrator has not seen or that the main character hasn't seen. And that creates a sense of tension, of suspense. You might know who actually is the killer before the character knows, and they're approaching the room and you're worried for them, and your knowledge creates a lot more conflict and makes you flip through those pages very quickly. So dramatic irony is a very, very important tool. Thanks for doing those problems with me. I hope they were helpful. So now if you'd like to continue your studies, you can check out the other videos that we have here, or you can make your way over to study.com. And as a member there, you'll find that you have access to hundreds of videos like the ones that we just did together, covering sample problems of all sorts, as well as specific instruction for targeted lessons and material that you might want to review, and some test prep strategy to help you for the actual test day in terms of boosting your score. So in the meantime, please feel free to like and subscribe so you can stay posted on our newest videos. And we'd really love to hear from you. So if there are certain topics you'd like us to review that we haven't covered yet, certain videos you'd like to see, please let us know in the comments and we will do our best to accommodate those requests. Thanks again. And in the meantime, happy studying.